The basic setup of this game is 3 define cards and 3 prompts cards of 3 different levels. There are also string code cards, list code cards, general code cards, and operation code cards. Also, there are super special wild cards, which contain super special wild things. To start the game, each player will draw 1 define card and collectively pick 1 prompt card. This is the prompt we randomly chose for this example. So, since we have a prompt and a define card, we're going to write the name of our function and define it. So we will write define digit count n. So to set up, we will draw 2 cards from each pile or each deck. Basic gameplay. So we have 8 cards, as you can see, and we know that because of our functions, we don't need any lists or string-related codes, so we can put them back or put them in a trash pile. And for every card we throw away, we can get 1 more card, so since we threw away 4 cards, we can draw 4 more cards. So looking at our cards, we have these cards, and those 2 are not relevant at all, as we thought ahead, and put them away so we can draw 2 more cards from the general pile because we want general codes. So these are the cards we have to work with right now, and we have an equals, which is good because that means we can declare a variable. So for this function, we want a count equals, which we have written down, and we have a number card so we can write the words or number count equals 0. And we have a while loop, which is really good. So we can have a while loop in our function, and because there is a blank in that while loop, that means we can put anything in that blank. So we don't need a greater than sign or a 0 to write the function or the code while n is greater than 0. And since we have 3 valid lines of code, that means we can get 3 extra cards. So for every valid line of code, we can get 1 more card. So we can see that we have plus equals, minus equals, etc. And we can do that to write the function or the code count plus equals 1, so that we can add to a count every time we loop through a number or loop through the number. And looking at the codes we have, we see that these 5 cards are not relevant, or you can't figure out how to use them at the moment, so we will put those 5 cards into the trash pile and draw 5 more cards. We wanted the general pile because we want return statements and a number card, which we conveniently got. So now we can do n integer divide equals 10, so that we can cut the number and a return statement because, hey, it looks like we finished the code and satisfied the prompt. To make the game more interesting and to make it more card and game-like, we decided to include these super special wild cards. So how these work is that 1 super special wild card equals 3 normal cards or 3 regular code cards. So to get one, you can, if you have 3 code cards that you don't really use, you can trade them in for 1 super special wild card. So this one is a blank card, which is a free code. You can literally write any code you want in this card, and it doesn't even have to be from the deck. Take one from an opponent's hand is when you take a card from literally an opponent's hand. And so if you get this card, you can draw 3 cards from any of the 4 piles. And if you have take one from an opponent's code, you take a card that they used in their code, and so that their code becomes invalid and you get one of their really crucial cards that you might need too.
So here's our user study, and as you can see, these 2 people are trying to answer the prompt card with the code cards they have. So basically what this game is trying to do is that we want to teach people about how to program, such as debugging, code tracing, and thinking ahead before you code. And of course, to make it more fun. Thanks for watching.